With all the things going on, are you ready? Are you war ready? You know what I mean? Are you spiritually intact enough to know what's going on around here, on this earth plane, It's a lot of debates. It's a lot of brothers and sisters trying to break religion barriers off people's minds, so they can see what's really going on. But then the ones who are trying to show are realizing that, I'm talking about, like, you're judging yourself. So if people judge themselves to choose incorrectly, or not discern what's really going on, let it be, But for the ones that's pushing and, instead of trying to get people to a knowledge, But like I said, the spirit says that it's a time for that too. And some of that time is almost up, So the placement and value of what you should prepare for should come down to you not needing from the government. Like the folks in Carolina, Georgia, talking about Florida. Hey, where they help at? All the dependency on FEMA. FEMA showing you what it is and what it ain't. FEMA show you the deduction of why they couldn't do it because of the politics of this right here. And, so when you really pay attention to the structure of how they try to corrupt the brain and the people thinking, it's to have them leaning on them, to depend on them. You know what I mean? It take the value out your godless self. It devalue you. You know what I'm talking about? It's like saying that we can do anything over your head because we got enough of y'all to believe in that, In the simplicity of things, it's the most important, and seems like people don't want to hear it. They don't want to see it. They don't believe it. They want the world to continue on, as long as it ain't touching them, But it's touching the generation to come. It's connected. So my sacrifice, my whole life sacrifice, is to get out, to expound on, to readjust, to walk as though Christ, was here with me, or I am Christ, not just saying it, not just, getting the chill and the unction, but really, separating from the BS, from the lies, we're watching people be ignorant, to destruction. We're watching people be ignorant to destruction, straight up, and it ain't a sad thing no more. No, it's like we growing into knowing that it ain't a sad thing no more. Because you don't think it's sad. You don't think it's nothing going on. You want to argue about what's really going on. But when the done ain't happening, I hope it don't be too late. But it's really happening, So in order not to get this discombobulated, you really will have to find yourself. When I say find yourself, I mean heal yourself to the point of not needing. That's a mechanism that he made, that was created for us to find later on, to understand that and understand that, to start growing, processing food our way, the right way, the natural way. It ain't no argument when it comes down to what's right or wrong. Either right or wrong. It shouldn't be no argument. It shouldn't be no in between. There shouldn't be no blindness to what these people have been doing this whole time. Yeah. I don't take sides, but I watch everything. And what's right and right, what's wrong is wrong by the spirit. You know what I'm talking about? What's corrupt and what's a lie is a lie by the spirit. You know what I'm talking about? And straight up, you could see the Democrat Party as who they is. Sinister, wicked, mind-altering type of entities. You know what I'm talking about? Confusion all the way through. At least on the Republican side, they care about their kids, their babies, their life. You know what I mean? At least that. I won't vote. My spirit won't allow me to, because there's a lot of us out there, we won't vote. You know what I mean? But we will say what it is and what it ain't on each end. You know what I'm talking about? We will expose shit, So that's what it is. Like, it ain't no hiding. Ain't no scared of this agency. Ain't no scared of that agency. You know what I mean? Because the one who even come close to a chosen one will be penalized by the soul and spirit. It ain't no game. The entities already know this. That's why you got to step up in your power. You know what I mean? Your meaning. What you mean. What you mean. Have you found out? Have you clarified? Have you found what you're here for? Do you take that mantle up? Do you walk with it? Do you mean it? You know what I'm saying? It's just your sacrifice for the kingdom. That's how deep it is. Ain't no game. Ain't no somebody talking about, oh, you doing it wrong. You doing it. I'm doing it the way that I was orchestrated to do it, based off the life that I live, based off the life that I had to beat, based off the curses I had to beat. You know what I mean? If you don't think that further, hey, it ain't your placement. You know what I'm talking about? But I ain't trying to correct you. You know what I'm talking about? I'm just trying to get the truth out. And if you brag about my video, hey, know that, you know, this world is not a third dimensional world where fear is an option anymore for some of us. It ain't no option. That just ain't gonna happen. You know what I'm talking about? Like, it just ain't gonna happen. You know, when the world show you that your placement is with the kingdom, with God, when the spirit try to show you that, and the enemy say, nah, I'd rather have you. You know what I'm talking about? And you say, okay. You know what I mean? You join the side. You know what I mean? Lower level thinking. That means you should even straighten out the lower shit. Hey, you know what I'm talking about? Gossip is the worst, one of the worst things that people can do. Because people don't know the insight about gossip. You know, they don't know the insight. They don't know what they do when they do it, when they talk about, and they begin. You know what I'm talking about? So, much people use power on BS, bullshit, wasting their power on bullshit. They should think about what's over their head. You know what I'm talking about? Really think about what's over your head, what's over your baby's head, what's over your great-grandbaby's head. If you don't think about that, you know, you is who you is. You know what I mean? You is who you is. You know, if you can't get to that, you're going to be who you're going to be. You know what I mean? Reprobate like a motherfucker. Like, and you think I'm reprobate or something wrong with me or God ain't with me or who is God in me, you know? God in me is the boldness, you know what I mean? To be willing to fight anything and be honest. You know what I'm talking about? And be honest. That's the God in me. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know about the God in everybody else. I don't know if they even realize, but I hope that God in them have common sense. You know what I'm talking about? With the God in me. You know? Spiritual common sense. Because if it don't, you know what I mean, we never gonna see eye to eye anyway. You know what I mean? No matter if the world falling on your forehead, you know what I'm talking about? To open your eye, you ain't gonna see it. Because you made a choice. There's plenty of choices. You know what I mean? Plenty of choices. But the most important choice is to see what the world has got going on for you. You know what I'm talking about? And what's against you. And what's against generation and regeneration. You know what I'm talking about? Like, open your third eye, you know? We penalize each other too much. You know what I'm talking about? In the midst of all this going on. In the midst of knowing, you know what I mean? In the midst of knowing that other people don't know. But they strategize as if they it's all good and they so right. You know what I mean? And you just look at their ass like, damn, you can't even make common sense or spiritual sense. Or some people, like I say, stuck to a ceiling. They won't go past that ceiling. You know what I mean? So you wasting your energy. I know a lot of people feel like every time they open their mouth and they speak to someone and the spirit say, be quiet. Your energy just go. Hey, let back up. Just a warning. Be quiet. Don't say nothing else to that person. You know why? Because they don't want you to. You know what I mean? They operating in lower self. That lower self don't want to hear nobody higher self. You know? They got to operate in their higher self, or at least try to get to that point of momentum and stop get out this third dimensional way of thinking. That's life. That's eternal life for some of us. So, within no bounds or restriction, you know what I mean? I would speak how I want to speak, and I hope others would speak how they're supposed to speak too. You know what I'm talking about? in the right manner with common spiritual sense. Make everything make sense, man. You know what I'm talking about? Some people don't get it. Some people express it different than the next person. Some people say the same thing, but they say it in a different way. And you know, that if it's said in a different way, it probably ain't for you to hear. It's probably that soft spoken, you know what I'm saying, to tell you, you know what I mean, and you know, talk to you like that, you know? You know what I mean? Probably that soft person, you know what I'm saying? Like that soft spoken person. But that ain't me. You know what I'm talking about? I ride with the vibration of the thought of what it is and what it ain't. You know what I'm saying? It has something to do with bloodline, future, life, humanity, period. What is these moments where I'm supposed to be so excited for when my great grandkids ain't gonna have no future if I let these people fuck it over. If I let these entities control, if I don't beat my ancestral curses. What are your ancestral curses? Everything that you're going through, you're battling, all these weaknesses that's come up on you and shit. You know what I'm talking about? Because you might not know what your ancestral curses is until it happens, until the demons approach it, until you go through so much stuff in your life. You're like, damn, I was being attacked over here, over there, over there. Like, damn, you know? So when you go to find out, you go to hold on, that ain't me. Hold on, I'm breaking that. This ain't that. I ain't no slave. I ain't no slave mind. I ain't no slavery. I ain't none of that shit. You know what I'm talking about? And you gotta tell everybody else, do not be slave mentality. You know what I'm talking about? Like, now it's a system. Now it's a system over everybody. You feel me? It's it's a system. You know what I mean? And people want to argue. What the fuck we arguing for? Let's get some crops. Let's get some guns. You know what I'm talking about? Let's get some shit started. You know what I'm talking about? Let's do something productive. You know what I'm talking about? Let's do something important. Let's do something that we know is finna happen. You know what I'm talking about? I don't get it, you know? I don't get it. It's like, but I do. You know how, to the star seeds, indigos, and common sense people, and, you get it. You get it. But you will hope that people will use their resources, you know what I mean, in a better way. I don't know what's going on in everybody's background, but I'm pretty sure people preparing in certain ways or certain things hitting certain people, and they be like, dang, this must be God telling me to get ready. You know what I mean? You here, you might well get ready. You know? Because one thing about politics, and this time right here, this is the time of the time. So, you know, when you think that it happened right here in our modern day times where they try to kill a president. You feel what I'm saying? They try to shoot the man 2 times. You feel me? Like 2 times. You know? It's like P. Diddy. They made up some shit about the ballers and shit. They charged him with that. You know what I'm talking about? That's trying to, it's a cloak. Why? All them line up together. Same thing. You know what I mean? Hiding behind what they did. You know what I'm talking about? What they into. You feel me? All this stuff. But you think they finna try to allow Donald Trump to get up there? You really do? You really think they gonna? You really think we at the time of time? He's somebody that he's somebody that you might not like, but his position is clear to the kingdom. You know what I mean? To be at that point, his position is clear to the kingdom. That he gonna play his position. If his other ear gets shot off, he's still gonna play his position. You know what I'm talking about? Because on his end of thing, it's one left thread of hope and faith. You feel what I'm saying? And you gotta see that. You know what I mean? At least for the future generation. I don't care about his what's coming. I care about his hope and faith for the world to keep going like the Creator made it for, but with a different atonement. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know if we're gonna make it past that. I doubt it. How the world they are, this shit really amped up. And you think it ain't amped up, you would think that it's just gospel. It's just, and I ain't gonna say gospel like that. I'm gonna say just the church. You just think it's just revelation. No, it's deeper. It's deeper. That means that watch what you vote for. You know what I mean? Because it's really gonna play an important role. You know what I mean? In your elevation. You know what I mean? Watch that, you know. It's gonna play a important role in your elevation. Hope it dawn on people before they go to the polls. You know what I'm talking about? A lot of stuff gonna happen anyway, so weather controlling, you know what I mean, heart, you know, opening portals by using atoms, CERN switching, all this stuff been going on. Finding artifacts, finding the ancient, peeping in modern day times, you know what I mean? They taking from the ancient again and using spell working against their brothers and sisters. That's showing, you know what I mean, the reason why that, you know what I'm saying, we was in bondage, that's showing, you know what I'm talking about? And it's like, you see it, like, you will be a season, but then you season the earth, but then you don't come back around and acknowledge it, to expound on it, you know what I mean? To know. So you gotta know that part of the reason that we was under destruction is because we destroyed ourselves by picking up things that had no business. We didn't even have no business tampering with. We hadn't even been getting tricked into even using this stuff. But we have. You know what I mean? But now we're in the modern time, and it's showing you the power that we can off each other. You know what I mean? Or we can block each other with our energies instead of, you know what I mean? Instead of us doing something positive with them and saying, let's channel. You know, let's all get together and get in spirit and channel to the kingdom and let them know that we have found unity. We have found somewhat form of common sense for the future, for the babies. You know what I mean? It's ways that they using spell work on the whole world and using it on the whole world by manipulation of the mind and imagery. You know what I mean? And numbers and symbols, and they put it in our face, and we're agreeing without collecting and learning. When you seek and you find, it's exposed. It becomes exposed when you know everything. It's a spiritual thing. You know, you begin to dawn on you. You know, we have to learn how to face these entities by acknowledging the kingdom within ourselves. You know what I mean? The fight that keeps you down, that makes you lazy, that makes you don't want to say nothing, that make you in fear of saying something, that make you, you know what I mean, dissuade the next person. You know what I'm talking about? That's your fight. That's your fight. To not say something when something is wrong. You know what I'm talking about? When it's your turn to say something, when you know it, and you know you should have, you know, but you didn't. But you still have another turn, because the God in you don't give up unless you cause it to give up, unless you neglect your higher self, unless you don't have a acknowledgement of a better you. There ain't no breakdown when you used to pray and you get in trouble and you pray and you get the chills and you feel all right, you feel clear. It's different from that. It's an elevation. You know what I mean? It's within. It's a expounding point. You know what I mean? There's just no relief no more. You got to go into the relief and figure out, how can I relieve myself, period, of all of this, you know? And your best relief is to be considerate of who you are when you find out who you are, and help elevate the next generation, or help produce a remedy for what's going on. Because a lot of us are healers. A lot of us can do things that, you know, people just think it's all in prayer. It is in prayer, but it's many ways to heal. And to just seclude it off to prayer, you know what I mean? Just, no, you just supposed to pray and this and that, this and that. No, I summon my strength, you know what I mean, to help. I summon my strength from the kingdom that's unlimited, as long as it's based off love and help. You know what I mean? Universe see it, universe know. You know what I mean? I won't judge you, but you dare judge me, you know? I don't really rock the way other people rock, you know what I mean? I don't want to sit and listen to somebody talk about something that I heard, I read myself. something that I am, and something that was just tampered with so much that they will argue that even that point, even to the point with the evidence, they will argue that. So to get into something and think you have no time to get it done, I think the best thing people could do is let people, tell people to go and find your higher self, pray about it, meditate, find out what it means to cleanse yourself, to get back to God within you. Because the God within you is more healthy than this, more healthy than what you've been given in your unawareness. Food, you know what I mean? Fake food, GMO food, you know, it's just, and we think it's nothing because somebody say, well, it ain't about what you eat. It's about what you eat if you're being tricked to eat it. It's about what you eat if you're being tricked to eat it. You know what I mean? So the cleanseness can be cleansing. You can cleanse all day your mind and this and that, this and that. But what will you do with all of the illness they're building up? Because I done seen it. The same ones that said hallelujah and everything else. You know it. Be at the damn Sacred Heart or be at the hospital. You know what I mean? You feel me? Like, so I know the cleansings that I've been given and the route that I have been given is safe and it's better. It's for the betterment. You know what I mean? So, and I just get, ain't nothing new up on the sun. I just didn't get this download from, I got a download, a share, then a download, then a download, then a download, and continue to download, and more shares from other people, from their interpretation of how, or their testimony on how they found their inner gift within themselves to know. You know what I mean? And stay on that and never falter that. You know what I mean? Always know. Because this ain't no game, this ain't no diet. This your life. This ain't no diet. This your life. This your at this time it's like the creator's so smart, he said, listen, I'ma show you, I'ma see if you love me and you like you say profess out your mouth. When this stuff going this way and that way, food gonna get taken away. When it's going this way and that way, this gonna get taken away. If it's going this way and that way, it's gonna get taken away. But guess what's all getting taken away? All that shit. Probably fake. Most of it fake. You know what I'm talking about? So if you're not itching toward what's real, you know what I mean, and trying to recreate what Bill Gates trying to snatch and do this and do that and do that to people, and he already did it. So it ain't that much meat in America, like I say. It just ain't. You know what I mean? It ain't. It's glued together. Yeah. So paying attention, knowing that it's chess. Chess means you should be paying attention to all these big wigs up there and their moves and what they're moving for, and do it benefit the future generation babies. That's what we're talking about. We ain't talking about, well, we just gonna let God handle it. We are the gods. God's within us. Get it? He's within us. Whoever, if you're a man and you know what I mean and you see what I mean, if you got gall, you know, when I say basutos, if you got them and you know that it ain't right to live a life and have a life and know somebody trying to strip it away, and you never gave an opportunity to yourself to be a better person, to fight what's right, to fight for what's right. You know what I'm talking about? For these babies in the future generation, you know? You mean tell me that you want to sacrifice that for your great-great-grands to come? You want to sacrifice it, you know what I mean? Just for that alone. I'm speaking in third dimensional too. You know what I mean? But fourth, fifth, you know what it is. You know? People, live your life. But don't forget that it's a journey. You know? Some people argue what your journey is, but they can't be, you know? I'm debate. I always been debate. And when people get this, you know, that be something that they have to take over the universe, because in my way of moving, I'm gonna move with order, respect, and respect for my higher self, and respect for other people. You know what I mean? And respect for what's going on. I'm not gonna neglect respect for what I know what's going on for nobody. You know what I'm talking about? I might can operate around people, but I can't neglect the respect that I have for what's going on. You know what I mean? I respect what I see, you know, and nobody gonna take that eyesight of my knowing away from me. You know, it's meant for me to show, you know. So I don't know if people believe in thinking that this shit gonna keep going on, this third dimensional stuff where people are blind and world is in chaos, you know what I mean? And I say chaos, I mean ain't too many people got control of themselves, you know? They really don't. But like I said, you gotta challenge yourself, find your higher self, you know, respect yourself, love yourself, guide yourself. You know what I mean? Whoever you got shares with, you know, you let a brother, sister know, hey, check this out. Hey, I respect that, you know. Keep doing what you do, you know. That's what it is. Never stop. Don't challenge. Put all that shit beneath you. Walk over that shit. You know what I'm talking about? Step over that shit, you know? It's nothing. You know why it's nothing? Because everything else that was before that, you thought it was something. Until, you know, it's in the spirit show you like, hey, you already being worthy. You gotta believe that. You gotta walk in that, you know? So, to anything that's coming in and out of your life, if it has no jurisdiction of heaven's protection, get it from around you. You feel me? I don't care. You know what I'm talking about? Get them, him, her, whatever it is from around you. You know what I mean? So you can get yourself, you know? And when you find yourself, you'll meet people who already found themselves. And you'll respect what they found. That's how you're going to know. You're going to respect what they found, because it's going to be heartfelt. It's going to be in consideration. You feel me? But it's going to have a story. It's going to have a why I'm like this, you know? People don't like to express why they like it. That's why they're so stuck up, you know? That's why they're so stuck up, you know? One way or another, you know? Expression is everything. You express to somebody, your kid, somebody release it. You know what I'm saying? The God, whoever you know, do it. Release. You know? Ultimately, we're here to expound on preparation. Prepare yourselves. You know it. Prepare yourselves. Now, I know I've been getting a lot of inklings that the Spirit been showing me that, hey, you protected. Which I'm out of fear, because I never been in fear. I just like, I'm a wanderer. You know what I mean? I don't fear, I wander. But then, after you come out of wandering and being so humble, you're more like a lion, you know what I'm saying? And you lay back in the grass, you just chilling. You know what I'm talking about? You know, people might be in their trust watching, but, you know, look at their like, shit, you come over if you want to, you know? That's I'm like a lion, you know? So I'm just chilling in my habitat, you know what I'm talking about? In my habitat, you know? When I wanna go somewhere, I'm Tarzan, you know? So it's your imagination, you know what I mean? The side effects of your brain not thinking is probably the shit, the processed foods you eat, and all the bullshit, you know what I'm talking about? So we need to come together as a collective and quit really going against each other on the BS. I'm not obligated to go nowhere and preach, you know what I'm talking about? Especially that's already operating, and you know, it'll be a battle in that mud, and I'm gonna win, you know? I'm not gonna go nowhere where, you know, the argument. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And who to argue with who? By the time people find themselves, you know, it probably be about, if the churches don't change their way of thinking, it probably be about a couple hundred people. If they had 300, they might get 100. You know, it's like, you know, people bagging out because it's something more, you know. You find out you've been lied to, then, you know, the ones that's in leadership, they continue wait with the lie. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, what shall we do? What shall we do? And you go get your downloads and God go telling you, hey, it's something, tighten up. You had enough of that. I just want to show you the spirit. I just want to show you, greet the spirit through Christ. Greet the spirit through Christ, you know? But that's how it happened for me. I had my choice out of this and that, out of the third dimensional choice, and this fourth dimensional, fifth dimensional spirit said, hey, boom, 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 gave me, and I followed that. You know what I'm talking about? And y'all should be right there with me. Right here with me, every day. That's my brother. You know what I'm talking about? First my Lord and Savior until I realized. And now once I realized he was my brother, he's my brother. Cause now I'm the God in me. You know what I'm talking about? So I ain't elevated. So I respect it. So I talk as though I'm elevated. You know, so people say, oh, you ain't this and you ain't that. Well, you ain't that and you ain't definitely ain't what you say you are, because the same God that you say, God is good and God is that, and you reading the same Bible, you know what I mean? They were stripping away, but we got that part together, but you know, the God in you can't be the God in me. So you mean to tell me that you don't believe that for yourself? That you try to hold me off my belief, you know, or my knowing? It won't work. I'm too excited by the efforts, you know what I mean, to stop me. I'm too excited by not obeying. I'm too excited by that shit, you know. It's a fire in me. It's a fury in me, you know. Learn to combat with someone that wants you to react because they know that you used to be an aggressor, but with sense. They never knew me that much, but it was sense. I was aggressive with sense. I still went to prison and jail, you know. But to see me snapping and say, oh, I know him. You don't know me. Once I figure you out trying to figure me out, I know you, period, you know. It's only one thing to know, that you're against me. So all the whys and all the explanation that we go through and why this and why that, once you find out who you is, you be excited. You be excited because you're no longer saying that, oh, God, this the God within me. You have woken the God within me. I don't know if you're gonna reach that point because you can't be the God within you unless your God is dishonesty or treachery or fuck shit. You know what I'm talking about? Bullshit. You know, unworthy intentions from the gate. You know, if it's that, you know, it's not. You know what I mean? To be presumed as as my God, the same type of God. You woke the God in me up. You know what I mean? I mean, the normacy of what I was thinking about love and respect was broken by a demonic principality that was controlling plenty of people, but different times, probably at the same time now. But collaboration is in store for the ones that lose these spiritual wars, these battles. You know what I mean? These are battles that you have to win, you know what I mean, to overcome, to get to your higher self, to know that you are stationed on the right channel. You know what I'm talking about? Like, love yourself. Bullshit don't mean nothing. You know what I'm talking about? I'm here to tell it. Bullshit don't mean nothing. I got my wings. You know what I'm talking about? Really? Really? It's real. And anything that go against you, and you speak as though that the God in you is speaking, it won't come back. Not in the same way. Different form, different shape. Be ready. It never stop. So, not to be paranoid, but take it on with a smile. You know what I'm talking about? Like, be elated. You know what I'm talking about? Like, you know, like, the world is prompted out by I just care about views. You know, I don't care about likes. You know what I'm talking about? A lot of people say, a lot of people can't deny I viewed it, and they gave a chance to either say, he right? Oh man, they ain't talking about shit. Yeah. I say that. I know that I'm on the end of the hook. I'm the bait. I know that. I know that. I know that. And my defense, is the kingdom itself. You feel me? You see? Because for me to react in the third dimensional, I can get mad just as anybody else. You know what I'm talking about? But my fight is to come up out of angle. You know, some people fight is to come up out of angle. So guess what? You know, yeah, amateurs play amateurly and they strategize on how they can get you mad. Pay attention. You know what I mean? You really supposed to laugh at that shit because it's funny, for real. It's funny because you know your position and you know why they're doing it because they in their position. And they're never going nowhere like that. And you need to call it. You know what I'm talking about? With much as emphasis you put on a lot of things with your feelings, your emotion, call that wicked shit that you see that's coming against the kingdom in the light within you to bear witness so people can bear witness that you bared it. You know what I'm talking about? With your heart and your soul. You know? People say I'm too far. I am. I'm so far in the portal. I'm so far in another dimension that I don't want to come back. You know what I'm talking about? I don't want to come back. But, gotta come back. We gotta come back, you know what I mean, and face this fucked up reality, you know? So, all the arguments, that's nothing. I met, well, I can't say I met, but a friend of mine, I would call her a friend because she's bold. I respect her, I love her. She showed me, it's plenty of them, you know what I mean? They're showing me, guess what I got? Boom, garden. Everybody trying to garden. It's the thing that's hitting everybody's brain. You know what I'm talking about? Your brain. It's hitting your brain and it's trying to show you. He said the seeds. Start back with the seeds. They want to take away the seeds. Talking about the babies, the seeds. Is it compare, reflect. If it's a reflection of something, you know what I'm talking about? It gotta be. You know? So the patience gonna have to be in there. Your endurance gonna have to be in there. Snatching away from the food gonna have to be in there, and your pride gonna have to be off the table, because right now it's an immature world, and women, and some, the majority of men, I'm talking about the real one, majority of these men care about how they look. You know what I'm talking about? These women, that's gonna be a hard one for y'all. Y'all got to break the barriers, you know what I mean, and think about this shit. You know, it don't matter what everybody else getting. It don't matter about this right here. You feel me? Is it healthy for your body? In the spiritual realm, would you go in and ask the question to the kingdom about this before you fuck with your temple? You know what I'm talking about? With all due respect for the creator. You know what I mean? Would you go in there with the acknowledgement that he's the creator and created you, not to be created on again? You know what I'm talking about? Unless it's about him that's in you, or source that's within you, however you want to call it. But it's the higher power that make all the existence. You know what I mean? And if the enemy had to use imagery, had to use these succubus spirits, it had to use these energy grabbers, these spirits, these spirits, but these souls that are dictated by how they should look, you know what I mean? How they should feel based off, you know what I mean, a remedy of the world. You know what I'm talking about? When the natural state was always the best state, you know what I mean? It's a test for you. And they're going to test you again and test you again. All of us have our tests. Believe that. All of us have our tests. And if you don't overcome your test, you won't measure up. You know what I mean? So all the shit that somebody else could be talking about somebody else or lying to somebody else about somebody else, I want to know. Because I don't study people's comments. You know what I mean? But I can feel the energy, though. You know what I'm talking about? And that shit fake. You know what I'm talking about? It's really fake. You know? I can be fake if you want to call me that, but not to my face. Please. You know? So, putting on, you know, I would advise you to try a natural way. You know what I mean? Like you could see, I see the change in everything. You know, women don't want to really work out. You know what I mean? To get the ass in the right way. You know what I mean? If that's what you want to get. You know what I'm talking about? Have you tried it the natural way first? You know what I mean? Have you pushed yourself to see? Have you measured yourself the distance to go? Huh? You know what I mean? Do you care so much about what somebody else think about the progress you have made because you have extra skin, because you have this and because you have that? Do you care so much about what they say about that? And they ain't think about the process that you had to go through to eliminate. You know what I'm talking about? That's why you need to get rid of people along with extra shit. You know what I'm talking about? Because they ain't no good for your common sense to think for yourself. You know what I'm saying? They disrespect your spiritual sense because they let you, they attack your common sense to make you feel like it's uncommon. You know what I mean? To work out, it's uncommon to do what's natural. So we go back again to the seeds, the babies. You know what I mean? Who are you now that you feel like you're grown and you raise your kids? You know what I mean? If your kids ain't being the elder, you still have to be the elder. You know what I'm talking about? If your kids ain't being the elder, you still gonna have to be an elder. If you choose not to be, that's on you. But it gonna come back around again where it's gonna show you where you should have been stern, regardless. You should have gave up more of your life for the understanding of what God has placed you here for. And not stressed about it, not cared about it to the extent. You know, we all have our downs and our ups, but it ain't nothing that you can't beat. You know what I'm talking about? It's a mind thing. You know, I had this lady, like she cool, but she into something else, you know? And she thought that she could play a mind game with me by trying to teach me something, but then act like she teaching me something, but ain't teaching me shit. I ain't never asked for your teaching. We ain't met about no damn teachings. We met because we had the same, we was cool. You weren't teaching me a damn thing. That's a lie. You know what I'm talking about? What have you taught me? You know what I mean? But how to switch out, you know what I mean, when you don't get what you want. Now, in the gray area, I don't want the gray area. You know what I'm talking about? I don't want that. You know, some people are offended because you tell the truth on every corner and you ain't gonna play no games. I see what's right, and that's what I'm gonna call. You know what I'm talking about? If you doing something out of line, that's what I'm gonna call. You know? If you think I can't read energy, something wrong with you. You know? Anybody. If you think somebody can't read energy right now in these days, that's really in depth, something wrong with you. And you should be in tune yourself. So you won't feel like you're so smart. You know what I'm talking about? When you don't tap into your spirit and move with your spirit and be guided by your spirit, no matter what somebody say, no matter the embarrassment or what somebody, I push, and not with no word for word what was given in the King James, which you ain't even break that down yet. It's so far, it's so much that somebody is talking about just the regular Bible. We don't have no business talking. You know what I'm talking about? Like, unless you saying, I want to know I want to know a little bit more. You know what I'm talking about? We don't have no business talking. If you already know it, go and praise God. You know what I'm talking about? Go out here and wherever you're going to go and go find them and praise them. Because the God that's within me is the most powerful one for me. You know what I'm saying? The closest one for me. Because I have to acknowledge. Like, everybody has to acknowledge the God in them. Because in a placement as humanity, we are over everything. You know what I mean? So that means that we have either consideration to water these plants, to put these plants in shade, or put these plants in sunlight. You know what I mean? It's on us. That's all we're around the board. It's on us. So we could play these little games, but it's a God in you enough to make common sense decisions, enough to stand up in your jurisdiction and say, I ain't having this shit. You know what I'm talking about? It ain't right. It never was right. I was just waiting on the right time to get it right. You know what I'm talking about? This is my opening. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't having none of that shit. This nor that. And people think that their life is so important against what you got going on. If it is, go live it. Go live it. That's just what it is. It ain't no crowd together. Ain't no groups. Ain't no this and ain't this and that. I don't know what you worship. I don't know what you into, and I don't know how you'll switch. People will switch like a light. You know what I'm talking about? Real quick. Real quick. One will let you know nothing. Just turn off like God power. You know what I'm talking about? Don't want to let you know shit. You know what I'm saying? I owe you a bill. Do I owe you a bill? I would have paid my bill then. I owe you an apology. I would apologize then. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't think I owe nobody nothing. You know what I'm talking about? I thought my energy was my energy. I thought I thought I did enough. I thought I prayed enough. I thought I gave enough. You know what I'm talking about? For me to feel like I feel like now. You know what I'm talking about? Like now I feel like elated because the God in me said you have. Who the fuck said you didn't? The world? Fuck the world. The God in me said fuck the world. You know what I'm talking about? And it's just cool as that, you know? People need to realize to catch your temperament. Some people don't realize that you and plenty of other people beat these games that the devil done sent them. That's why the devil be mad at me, because I got keys to the kingdom and I got keys to the hell. You know what I'm talking about? The hell realm. You feel me? You know why? Because it's about control. It's about the kingdom, universe knowing, source knowing your heart and what you're here for. He already knew. You didn't know. You catching on to yourself. Your higher self. You're catching on to your higher self. You know? So now you're knowing. You feel me? So don't feel out of line. You know what I mean? Ambiguous. You know what I mean? When you find out. You know what I'm talking about? You know and step. And you see order. Hey, every day somebody out of order because this world is in chaos. You know what I'm talking about? So you're going to meet what you need to say to whoever you need to say it to, period. And you're going to be doing your work, period. You know what I'm talking about? Then you'll find your gift or whatever, it might come first, however. But you're going to have it calculated, or the kingdom or the God within you going to have it calculated for you. And you're going to learn how to follow suit. Because ain't going to be nothing else left to do but follow suit. You feel what I'm talking about? So, I had somebody say, I sell my body, I'm a prostitute. I never sold nothing. You know what I'm talking about? I never sold nothing. You feel me? I would have been cursed if I would have sold mine. You know what I'm talking about? You feel me? I like to talk shit and they get it twisted. You know what I'm talking about? And run with it and cap with it. Pop, pop, pop. And there ain't nothing coming out but blanks. You know what I'm talking about? So, you know, you gotta wish people well. Always. Once you realize who you are and what you gotta do and what they not gonna do. So be in peace. You know what I'm talking about, brothers and sisters, kings, queens, goddesses, gods, you know what I'm talking about? Conscious minds, you feel me? Christ frequency. Hey, be at peace. You know what I mean? Watch for the world, watch what's happening, pay attention. You know, don't soak everything up. Discern. You know what I'm talking about? Discern. You know, pretty sure all of us have something to share. But it's for the vicinity of your surroundings, of whatever platform you're on that you should share it on. And let some people be witnesses. You know what I'm talking about? Because after you share it, they're going to run into something else. Same way you ran into the people shared it for you. They're going to do the same thing. You know what I mean? And hopefully they get it in time and be in preparation. But yeah, we need to be in preparation. Water and whatever beans, whatever you come up with, plants, whatever your download is to do, you need to be getting on that now. It's showing. It's showing. Um, it's showing you the power of the universe. It's showing you the power of Maya. You know what I mean? It's showing you the power of God. It's showing you the power of Source. You know what I mean? And all, you know, because all is one. And it's showing you the power of the ancestors. You know, we have to be enlightened by that power. You know what I mean? If you don't want to get enlightened by that power, be stagnated. You know what I'm talking about? Because the words that assumes or come out of people's mouth, you know what I mean, the meanings is disrespectful to the kingdom. Whether you like it or not, whether I 10 this or 10 that, you like it or not, I'm a child of God. I'm a child of the source. And I'm here, you know what I mean, in this experience as he is in me to experience, you know what I mean, deceit, dishonesty, disvaluing, discouragement by their own people. You know what I'm talking about? That never looked up nothing, don't believe in nothing but the same, the coming of what somebody else gave to you, the standard. Don't believe that manure stink. You know what I'm talking about? I mean, like I say manure? Manure stink. You know what I'm talking about? But got the power to discredit each other. You know what I'm talking about? Got the power, got the nerve to discredit the spirit. You feel me? The higher spirit. The person that's stepping into a higher learning. You know what I mean? But the stagnated minds that disrespectful, you know, they sit there and gossip like they got it figured out. But they got this illness, this going on, and the person that's trying to talk to them, trying to heal them. You know what I mean? So, and mind is right. One thing about it, when you really want to heal, I learned you're going to drop everything that need to be replaced that has something to do with pharmaceuticals and go to natural. You know what I'm talking about? You really going to drop it because you're going to find out that the truth really discourages you for wanting to even believe in lies sometimes. You know what I'm talking about? Believe in lies anytime. You know what I'm talking about? Like, you think about it. You know, if I could be healed by what he says on the ground, what the word says on the ground, because people like to discredit it and sit there and talk about healing the mind and the spirit, get the vibration, but you still going to the doctor to get it. You saying you got an illness. You saying, I thought you were healed. That means you ain't put forth the effort to discern what healing really means. Healing is all the way around, brother and sister. No disrespect, but healing is all the way around. It ain't no one-way thing. We've been poisoned. The world has been poisoned, and it's getting even more poisonous. You know, it's like, and it's no argument about that. But it's an argument about the next person talking about, you know, the personality of what God will want to operate in. Who? And this hell say that God won't operate in somebody like me. No, in my heart. I will never say he won't operate in you if your heart is good. You know what I'm talking about? But that's how people judge each other from these planes. But that don't make sense. You know what I'm talking about? Because at the end of everything, the God of me says that if you heal yourself inside, spiritually, mentally, especially going out there and get in touch with them herbs that have life in them. Life is just as much as them chills that you get. Life is just as much as, way more than them burgers and all the other stuff that you get. You know what I mean? Life is life. It connects you. You know what I mean? It's real natural resources. You know what I'm talking about? That was made for you. You know? So, the ingredient of hypnosis is commercials. People influenced by their taste buds, not recognizing that the trick means that your taste buds, you being tricked to think that tastes so good. You know what I'm talking about? It really can't taste that good to your organs. It tastes good to your taste buds, but your organs said, man, what the fuck you doing to me? And you know it because you're going up to see the doctor. You know what I'm talking about? Anybody. You know what I'm talking about? And you know it. You feel me? I know it because I went to see the doctor. You feel what I'm talking about? So what? What's the big problem? What's the solution? You know what I'm talking about? So what? You don't want to do it, so what? You know what I'm talking about? It ain't important to you? Hey, that's what's up. But the God in me say a lot of people that's doing what they supposed to be doing, they finna see something that never transpired in their lifetime. Long as they're in action. You know what I'm talking about? Pursuing. You feel me? Cleaning. Realizing, regurgitating, meditating, cleansing your energy, realizing what energies is. Energies are thoughts sometimes. You feel me? Realize what they is. You feel me? It could be in somebody else's mind, and your spirit would go to boom, 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 boom. It could be in their attentions. Boom, boom, boom. I don't have time to ask them what's going on no more. Hey, check this out. You was here a minute ago. You all right? The spirit clear. You feel me? No, you wouldn't bother my Holy, because my Holy Spirit, it get bothered real quick now. So it don't want nothing around it. So come back, and if your shit got something on it, oh, you done went somewhere, and like that energy, man, what's going on? What you thinking about? Blah, 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 blah. I gotta know. You know what I mean? But matter of fact, I don't want to know what it is. You know what? You gotta clean it up. That's law. I do that with anybody. You gotta clean it up. That's law. Because I'm in the jurisdiction of peace. And I don't need no discredit of my spirit or what I've been through. You know what I mean? To go through it again for no fucking body. You know what I'm talking about? For nobody but the kingdom. Or what the kingdom tell me to do. You know? Everything else, it can be civilized or uncivilized. I'm made that way. I'm made that way. You know? I don't fear my people. Nobody people. I can't. It ain't in me to. And God in me said, what? 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 Man, you're a knife. I'm a whole knife. I'm sharpened on both ends. I'm a knife. I thrust myself at you. You feel me? That's how I feel. That's my childlike imagination. Because I know that I'm a knife in the hands of the Creator. And it's gonna be him that smite. You know what I'm talking about? It's him that gonna smite. People better get it spiritual. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't what you waiting on somebody to drop? I ain't waiting on nobody to drop. I want people to repent, you know what I'm talking about? And start on their journey and get right. You know what I'm talking about? What repent means, I ain't talking about how your preachers say repent, because some people have characteristics that gotta be. You know what I'm talking about? Because all this temperance, how you should do this and how you should do that. You know what I'm talking about? The God in me loved me years ago. When I acknowledged that he loved me, I should never let nobody tell me that oh, you know, you can't say this and you can't say that. My temperament was saying stuff from the spirit way before I even got to the knowledge of. So you know the unction's real. You know the unction's real. You know you had the unctions way back. You know what I mean? It just wasn't readable. It wasn't the whole sentence. You know what I'm talking about? Or you didn't know how to read, you know, spiritually. Now you know how to read, and you know you're in power, so power up. I say power up. The kingdom say power up. The universe say power up. The people that sharing these posts, they say power up. They don't want you to feel like you're alone in this world. We don't want you to feel like you're alone. No, power up. You know, some people are in a place where they say, "What should I do?" First, be everything that's in your jurisdiction. You know what I'm talking about? And that means that if you're going through this, overcome. You know what I mean? Don't overcome with the same, don't overcome the way that the flesh wants to respond. Reverse psychology. You know what I'm talking about? On the demonic forces that try to get you to react in a way that's not called for. You know what I'm talking about? Because everybody had a reaction, but is it called for at the time? Is it called for? If it ain't called for, you know what I'm talking about? And who could say it's called for? The ones with sight. The ones with sight. The ones that know what it means to really be spiritual. To really know that the depth is not about the third dimensional privilege or looking like you're spiritual. But it's about the bewilderment of getting battered when you tell the truth. The enlightenment of knowing after you felt so down that the world was against you because you would not acknowledge yourself to be alive, you know? If I can walk in your shoes, you give me a chance to walk in your shoes, I guarantee I'll run in your shoes. You know what I'm talking about? I guarantee I would try to run in your shoes. You feel me? Knowing off what I went through. You know what I'm talking about? If I give you my shoes, you know what I'm talking about? You probably won't be able to take one step. You know? Not discourage you, not saying that you're lesser, but I won't let you call me lesser because in your shoes and your loafers or whatever you was wearing, it was comfortable. You know what I'm talking about? But in my shoes and my boots, you know what I'm talking about? I got corns. I walk miles. You know what I'm talking about? The journey was galactic. You know what I'm talking about? And it still is galactic. You know? So, as we travel on this earth plane, in this vessel, we are learning what it is, you know, and what it ain't, and what need to be done. You know what I mean? No disrespect to ones that don't feel the need that I'm have a reason to disrespect them for what. But to the ones that salute, you know, these hypocritical imaginary third dimensional leaders. You know what I'm talking about? And what probably the foundation of currency, third dimensional currency, money and shit. You know what I'm talking about? Like, all that shit gonna shift and go away. You know what I'm talking about? The heart gonna remain, and what's done from the heart gonna remain. And what's done in preparation gonna remain. Everything else that people holding dear to their hearts finna shift. You know what I mean? Especially if they ain't using their heart in the right way. You know what I'm talking about? When announcements be made. It ain't no playing no games. This is very spiritual. You know what I'm talking about? I put my soul on it. You know, it be time that the human mind say, man, but both my, you know, my spiritual higher self and my common sense self and my lower sense self follow everything else now. It don't do what it want to do. I can't make the spirit follow my lower self. No, I had to raise my vibration and do what's right. You know what I mean? My lower self in step. So I get to use my lower self if I got to handle business because I'm respect by heart that I ain't did nothing to nobody really. You know what I'm saying? Anybody coming against me, coming against the kingdom. And that's how I take it. You going against heaven. That's how I take it. So I got the right, you know what I'm talking about, to do whatever heaven says I can do. You know what I mean? And anybody getting in the way, it gonna have no way to happen. You know what I'm talking about? Ain't no game. I'm ready to sacrifice. You know what I'm talking about? For what I believe in. Ain't no game. Why should it be? Huh? What the fuck? Why should it be? It ain't no game. It's on, you know? It's on. So if you don't want it to be on, you know what I'm talking about? Stay in your lane. You know, be casual. You know, let's be sensible. You know? That's all. As far as like the extra shit in this world, man, fuck it. I mean it, you know. I bear witness of the emotions and the turmoil, what the description of Christ's story. I bear witness of seeing other people go through what they go through and me not really knowing what they're going through, but then realize like, damn, sister, I feel where you came from. Brother, I feel where you came from. You know what I'm talking about? Like, yeah, when you probably be the only one that really want the best for people. You know what I'm talking about? Really. In heart, really will show that. You know what I'm talking about? I bear witness what Christ meant. You know what I'm talking about? So, I also bear witness about me being more than he was going to be. Which would make him my brother and not my Lord and Savior because, you know what I'm talking about? I got to pass that point. I already acknowledged that. You know what I mean? I acknowledge that to get past the Lord me, to get to the brother level. You know what I'm talking about? And once I get to the brother level, I got to acknowledge everything else around me and raise up the vibration, help, and do what I'm supposed to do because everybody ain't gonna raise their vibration. But when it's what's done enough, the universe will let you know, and you will get another download, and you will journey on to your next step. You know what I'm talking about? That's how it's gonna work. Now everything might happen real quick. Real quick. You know what I'm talking about? With all this stuff happening. Because it's a process of elimination. And they want to stop something. And they want to stop everything that has a voice to speak about what's right. You know what I'm talking about? But I put it like this right here. Any deity, because you're supposed to say these things, any deity that's up against the kingdom, the heavens, however you want to put it, what's right. You feel me? Anything that's trying to block out what's right. You know what I'm talking about? Made a raft or source, made a raft of all my ancestors, all of the kingdom, all of the angels be upon your neck for the world to see. You know what I'm talking about? On my soul. I believe that on my soul. I know that on my soul. You can try it if you want to. You know what I'm talking about? This ain't no game. I don't care who you is. You know what I'm talking about? People tired. You know what I'm talking about? The kingdom tired. The spirit tired. You know what I'm talking about? Ignorance. You know what I'm talking about? And desperation to be heard, but ain't got no answer for somebody else. Don't got no help. Don't want to share. Don't care. You know? And you prove yourself every time you open your mouth to talk about the next person. You know what I'm talking about? You know? I talk about what need to be said because these are the fight or the battles that I went through, and nobody ain't told me about them, so I'm going to warn people about people that ain't got no good energy. You know what I'm talking about? When you let people around you and you know your spirit begin to get bothered, that means you allowing this person to disrespect the God within you. It's annoying about this shit. All praise to the Most High. I hope people realize and see and salute what's right. You know what I'm talking about? And speak against what's wrong. You know what I mean? All praise to the Most High. Christ, Yahshua, ancestors, my Yah, we love you.